It is fair to say that 2001 Space Odyssey does not hold up today, and in terms of how glazed it really is, it is pretty overrated. But what is fascinating is that the sequel, 16 years later, released in 1984, actually is a slightly better movie. It may not be by much, but by and large, it is more entertaining and better made, even though a lot of people will not see it that way. Anyways, we will talk about a couple of reasons why the sequel is actually better. The first reason why the sequel is better comes down to how it explains things a lot better. In the first one, it is actually hard to know that the main character gets abducted by aliens and is reborn as a star child, which is easy to find and research after watching the movie, but not while you watch it. While in the second one, you understand how it hangs together, what great event is gonna happen, what a monolith really is, and they explain what went wrong in the first mission. In the beginning of the movie, in addition, the Bowman shows himself again to give a message from the aliens, and you get a more wholehearted explanation. A critique you could give to the first movie is that it has a certain build-up. You're not on a mission the whole time. There's the conference meeting before it all starts in the space station, and you see the everyday life of the main character at home, as opposed to this sequel, where you mostly are on the mission the whole time. It does not take too long to introduce the mission, and it is a movie with a way better pacing, which is just another reason why 2010 is a better movie. It also never really slows down that much, and what happens in the movie when they are orbiting Jupiter are shown in a pretty dramatic fashion. What is also positive with the follow-up is that instead of how you see the main character send transmissions to those at home, you can see the mission being told in an author voice that is used quite effectively this time around in the movie. I feel this gives us a good context to the movie, as Roy Scheider tells about the mission, and it is a bit easier to feel immersed into this space mission. Another positive description of the sequel is that visually it looks much better than in the first movie, because there you saw space and the spaceships in a very scuffed version on the screen. Of course, it also helps on the level of immersiveness as you watch the movie. When what you see on the screen looks visually better, then it also enhances the drama when something dramatic actually happens. The way it is designed in the sequel gives you that cool space experience that you missed in the first movie. That looks way too scuffed when it comes to the things that should be more impressive on the screen. Nevertheless, it is of course unrealistic that the Russians and Americans is going on this mission together. But it is very interesting that their goal is to find out what happened 9 years ago. It gets interesting when they are about to embark on the Discovery ship and needs to access the HAL computer. It is also interesting to know what actually went wrong with the computer and how they actually can make HAL work and follow these commands, even though he might not entirely agree with it. And one of the main characters actually has to say that the mission is in danger after he has been rebooted. Additionally, I will also say that the second movie is way more dramatic because the only real drama in the first one is when the HAL computer goes berserk and when the mission goes astray. The people in cryosleep are killed by HAL, and also towards the end when the last crewman of Marman dies flying around in space. While in the second movie, from the very first moment to the end, it is very dramatic because of the guy that gets sucked up into the void created by the monolith, how the Russians work together with the Americans, and this Russian guy that is on the mission with the character played by John Lithgow and almost hyperventilates when they are close to going into the Discovery ship. It simply has so many dramatic scenes that you get drenched in them. And that's just another reason why the sequel is actually better than the original, and I will give it a 7 out of 10, while I instead gave a 6 out of 10 to the first movie.